he's just a most gorgeous, warm, friendly thespian, but not just that, a human being. And he is so excited to be here. Obviously, he has his northern connections. And I think just being on northern turf, he feels really at home. Gave him a little cuddle. It was lovely. Sorry, Darren, I haven't given you one yet, have I?
No, not at all. No. Never.
No, and you won't be getting one either.
None taken.
But no, so I'm so excited because, there aren't many heroes like him in the world today. Not really. So I could have sat there in the dressing room and spoken to him for hours and hours, but then I thought, oh no, I'm supposed to share. So that's what we're going to do this evening.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to hand over to you now, Jenny, to introduce
Darren.
the man himself. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll catch up with you a little bit later. Good luck with
Darren
you. All right,
Proctor,
see you later.
everyone. So I know for a fact that we're amongst friends here when we all agree that who we've come to listen to this evening is not just the most magnificent thespian, but he is also the most fearless explorer, an expeditionist, and thankfully he is also one of the most engaging storytellers that I have ever met. But before I bring him on stage, let's just look at the screens to the side of the room here and have a quick reminder of this gargantuan fellow's amazing career. Please will you give a big warm hug of a welcome to Brian Blessed.
Come on.
I know.
I can't see him. Hello.
All there for you.
I can't see him. Let me see.
I know, it's tough.
Jesus, these lights.
I don't know if we can
You're
turn
there.
Oh, they are. Are you
I'm
there?
looking. Are you there?
Ah,
yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Now
I
I
like
can
that
see.
one.
I prefer, yeah.
Me too. No, that one.
No, I
You
can.
like that?
Then I can see your faces.
Yeah, I wish I had my glasses on.
I can see. Yes, I can see.
There's some quite good-looking
That's
people
quite-
in Cheshire.
They're marvellous to be here. Anyway.
Yes. And listen, before we start, or you get going anyway, I've just got a little present for you, because I do like to do this when I interview superstars like your good self. And I just thought it might resonate with you a little bit.
Gosh.
Don't tell me you've read it.
Can you hear me? Is it?
Yes.
Microphone fine?
Yes.
It's the Book of Joy, the marvellous for His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu and Douglas Abraham.
Yes.
I'll treasure this.
Well, I've written a little note. Even though I didn't know you at the time, I still went, oh, Brian, we're best of friends and I love you dearly.
Oh,
but anyway, we are
marvellous.
now. But
Thank you.
why I bring this up is because that's my favourite book.
Right.
But also, it does say on the front of the book, if you look there, lasting happiness in a changing world. And I think that is exactly what you are.
There's no end to my talents. And I would like to say here and now, before anything else, Gordon's alive! I can't hear you! One more time, Gordon's alive! Oh, that's absolutely marvelous. I mean, wherever I go in the world, the Queen, one Christmas the Queen said, Mr. Blessed, she said, we watch Flash Gordon all the time. Me and the grandchildren. Would you mind saying Gordon's alive? Gordon's alive! She said, thank you so much. So everywhere I go, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, they all want me to say Gordon's alive, which, it seems to be a cry of celebration. Can you bring the lights down a little bit, please, so I can see their lovely faces?
Yeah, you don't have to see us.
Just a weeny bit down so I can see and light their faces up. Ah, that's better now. I can see you.
Yes,
that's great.
Yeah.
So,
can I just say, though, you have this amazing energy, this effervescence, and it will never leave you. And is it something to do with your past, your childhood, and from being from...
Well, I suppose, I've always had enormous energy all my life. It's the extraordinary thing. I'll hold on to Flash Gordon for a second.
Yeah.
And say that, of course, I used to watch it as a little boy. I'm a Yorkshireman. What's a few there? Yes. And I used to watch Buster Crabbe. Absolutely wonderful. In the black and white. I tried to get him in the film. I said to Gino, please, for fuck's sake, put him in the film at the beginning. Let him go to the aircraft, etc., and put the petrol in. He said, but he wouldn't wear it, which is a pity, because he looked marvellous, Buster Crabbe at the moment, with blonde hair, 6'4", etc., etc., etc. But, I mean, so therefore I was brought up, I never dreamt. You see, when we came out of the picture house in Goforth, Bowdon, what the hell are you doing? What in fuck's name are you doing in my pauses? It's not Bill Roach, is it? Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. And so, I mean, I have to explain to you that, therefore, I was thrilled to bits with Flash Gordon. I think that it brings such happiness to the world as a film. Many people have said, oh, that it's a bit camp. It's not. It's not camp. Am I bloody camp?
You're not.
Anyway. The thing is, it has great style. It has great music. And it has kind of a wonderful comic strip style, which is amazing to watch. Yeah. And it's getting more and more and more popular. I mean, I was approaching the North Pole a short while ago, the magnetic North Pole. There's no end to my challenge, love. You're not looking at bloody rubbish. And there I was, approaching the North Pole with a British expedition with Embleman and Adams, and we got within 20 miles of the North Pole. And the ice has got thinner now, as you know, because of global warming. And suddenly I heard this humming sound. And this great turret came through the ice. And it was a Typhoon submarine, you know, Red October, Sean Connery. And it came through the ice. And the conning tower opened up, and there was the Admiral, and he got out, and he looked at me and went, oh, it's him. Please, say Gordon's alive. So I said to this Russian Admiral, Gordon's alive. He said, yes, you said much. You must come on board now, come on board. I went on board, and I sang the Volga Boatman, yo heave ho, yo ho ho ho, yo heave ho, yo heave ho. That's worth a round. Anyway, but, so, everywhere I go, I mean, it's unbelievable. Flash Gordon, Mount Everest, in the south, the north, opera, everywhere I go. I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I won't be a second.
No, it's fine. Fine. I'm enjoying it.
I'm not used to having such beautiful ladies in my presence. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. So that sequence where we attack rocket ship Ajax is astonishing because it took weeks to mount it. I mean, when you see people flying in a film, it's interesting that, you know, in Batman it's one man or two men, or Superman, 2 or 3 people at the most flying. But in Flash Gordon, in that sequence, there are over 2,000 men flying. It took ages to get their wings together. Amazing. And got them all lined up, you know, they're vomiting and God knows what. And they got rocket ship Ajax ready and put the monsters on board, and it took days. And then, of course, I had all the famous lines to say. And you know, everyone lined up and so forth. And I had a great bazooka. Of course, it's made. And this great bazooka was like a great parrot. And of course I shot people and killed people with this great bazooka. Anyway, the moment came, and there was Flash, there's Sam, marvellous Sam Jones. And he was there, sat with me, hovering with 2,000 men, and they said, Brian, we're going to go. Are you ready? And I went, stand by, action. And down we came. I said, well, who wants to live forever? Squadron 40, dive!
Thanks. Great.
They said, cut! Brian, we put in the special effects. I have never felt such a tit in all my life. I mean, you can't do that. You've got to put a sound on. But the whole film was an absolute miracle. I have to say that I've never enjoyed a film so much in all my life. Terrific stuff. And it gets better and better and better. The extraordinary thing is, of course, that everybody wanted to be in Star Wars. And of course, it had been 16 years when you'd finished. And it was now brought back again with The Phantom Menace after 16 years. And I was cast as the king of the Gungans, 20, 30 feet high. Wonderful character. Of this great gorge. And this marvelous scene, they come to me, Obi-Wan Kenobi and CPO and all of them, they all gather together in this wood. And there I am in my shrine, this 30-foot giant, the king of the Gungans, Boss Nass. And they come towards me, and there's Obi-Wan Kenobi and this, that, and the other, Obi-Wan, and all of them, they're all there, and they all ask me to help them. I mean, imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you're in a prime film like Star Wars, and you've got the whole cast in front of you, coming towards you, begging you to help them, to save them. And the producer at the time, George Lucas, said, Brian, this goddamn scene's fucking dull. He said, nothing's fucking happening, Brian. And so I said, I'll leave it with me. And so anyway, they said, action. And of course, you remember I had this strange voice. Would I help them? And I said, me shall like this. Maybe we can be friends. You know, take. We Gungans are stupid. Maybe I can help you. Yes. Cut! And he said, Brian, you goddamn mad fucker. He said, so they said to me, the director, they said, that's exactly what I want. And you see the film, it's difficult, and so forth. Anyway, he rang me up, the director, George Lucas, after a few weeks and said, Brian, Jesus Christ, you've just cost us $360,000 to put in the special effects. This 80-foot face. $360,000 fucking goddamn dollars, you mad fucker. Anyway. But when you see the film, you'll see it's quite difficult. Incidentally, thank God I'm sane.
Did you know that? Brian,
I came down from the lost world. What's that?
No, I was just asking, was that when you used the technique for your gorilla friend?
My gorilla friend?
Yeah, because there were female gorillas and gorillas that you met, and you were
we're jumping around a weeny bit here, ladies and gentlemen. It'll lead to Tarzan, actually.
Yeah.
Because in the film Tarzan, I am Clayton. It's on all the time. And I'm the villain, the 8-foot giant man who fights Tarzan.
Yes.
A terrifying Victorian hunter. Marvellous part. And so I played very like that. And, oh, Tarzan. Interesting that the man playing Tarzan is a very hard part to cast. Flash Gordon is a hard part to cast. Take Flash in the fact that Flash Gordon has to be so pure. Now, you can take a shot. That's why I won't have any criticism of Sam Jones. Now, when you see Sam in the film, he's perfectly cast. Now, you could get Tom Cruise, who I love, and any of the other big stars, and put them on as Flash Gordon. And it doesn't matter. You're bound to find some angle in which they look sinister. You know, it doesn't matter who it is, Tom Cruise or anybody, or Brad Pitt, they can look sinister. But you can put the camera wherever you like on Sam Jones, and he's pure. Quarterback, New York Jets. Live and let live, I say, Ming. Quarterback, and he's so pure. And it's wonderful. Anyway, in Tarzan, the man playing Tarzan in the animated film, which you'll see a lot on television with me as the villain, as that Clayton, he has a lovely, soft voice as Tarzan. It's all lovely and soft. Lovely. Hello, Jane. And he is the villain in the film Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, he is the villain. But in Tarzan, a lovely voice is really just what you want, you know.
But you
now, I just did a big... I had just done a big adventure in South America.
Yes.
We'd been to the Lost World. We'd crashed in a plane, survived the fucking crash, gone through the fucking jungles. I remember I went through the jungles with 12 of us after months and months and months fighting to save our lives. And what did I come across? What led me the way? A Jack Russell dog. I saw a fucking Jack Russell. It had been bought by a tribesman in Caracas. And then it was all bow-legged, covered in shit. And I followed it. And it saved our lives. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, go back to Tarzan.
Yeah.
So I've discussed Flash being pure.
Yes.
But when I'd finished playing Clayton with Disney, I was then leaving. And I could hear the Tarzan trying to do the yodel. And he couldn't do it. And I said, what the hell's going on? I said to Disney's son, Brian, we can't get him to do the goddamn fucking howl. He can't do it. Nobody can do it, Brian. I said, but when I was a little boy in Yorkshire and all that, we used to see Johnny Weissmuller. We'd go to the cinema, and everybody in the auditorium, as John Weissmuller came on as Tarzan, they'd all start yodeling, wouldn't they? Mm-hmm. And they said, what, Brian? So I said, I'm probably got a bit, I'm a bit husky. You're going to have a go, man. Yeah. Marvelous.
Wow. That's good.
And so, you're looking at a genius, and a humble one at that. And they did me a separate contract for the fucking voice. Would you fucking believe it? So I promise not to swear. I'm so sorry about that. They said, don't say F-U-C-K. But when I did my life, not the 9 o'clock news, of course I swore all the time. Yeah. You know, right? I thought, what shall I do? Right at the beginning, I said to Lord Young, he suddenly said, you know, Mr. Blessing, before you start, he said, I'm gay. I said, you're gay? I'll kick your fucking teeth down your throat. Which was a marvellous way to start the programme. Anyway, what was that? And so I did the Tarzan yodel. And so, which, can you do it? giving this side 5 points. I don't know. But nevertheless, it was wonderful because I'd always wanted to work with Walt Disney. You know he's frozen. They put him in a tower, he's bloody frozen. Yeah, they've frozen his body.
It's got a movie after it.
Right. What's he going to come out? Can you imagine?
Sorry, I work for Disney.
You work for Disney?
I don't want you to be scared, but your fly's undone.
My fly's undone? Jesus. You didn't see a blue vein, did you? Because if you do, I think, oh, fucking hell, rain again. I don't want any more rain. I'm sorry about that. You didn't see
No, I didn't see anything.
Thank goodness. I want to say this is not going the way I intended at all. I was going to say, I was going to say something, oh, Christ. No, something lovely. I want to say to you, by the way, it's marvellous being here. I'm a Yorkshire lad, son of a coal miner. My dad was played for Yorkshire Coals. I have to say that my love of sport is astronomical in the fact that any Manchester United supporters? Well, let me elicit a cheer of appreciation then and say that when I was 8 years of age, Manchester United in 1948 won the FA Cup. They beat Blackpool 4-2, Stanley Matthews' Blackpool. And anyway, the Manchester United, they came through our village because there was no television. And I was captain of our little Tiny Tots team. We'd won the Tiny Tots Championship. And this bus came through, and these men got off the bus and started kicking a football around our little ground. There it was in Goldthorpe, in Yorkshire. And I said, it's Manchester United. And it was Manchester United playing their last game of the season. And I said, you're Manchester United, aren't you? They said, yes. I said, can we play you? They said, yes, lad, yes. And we played them, and we beat them 26-0. It was the sweetest, kindest act. Now, how about this for impressive? And the United side was goalkeeper Crompton, right back Carey, left back Aston, right half Clayton, centre half Chilton, left half Cockburn, outside right Delaney, inside right Morris, centre forward Rowley, inside left Mitten, and outside left Pearson. There we are.
Impressive.
Well, I think this evening, ladies and gentlemen, you being so generous, is a kind of mark of celebration. I love being a North Countryman. I at the moment, there's so much darkness going in the world, but we're going to win out. We're going to save the earth. We're going to beat COVID. We're going to triumph. And of course, I believe this absolutely. I also think, you see, that I look in the mirror in the morning, I think, God, I look fucking marvellous. I look like a cross between a Yeti and a fucking gorilla. And I love the way I look. I'm a King Kong man, I'm a Goo man, I'm a late man. Yahoo! Yahoo! And I think it's very important to love yourself. I think it is, except look in the mirror and love yourself and say, I'm here. Because I believe implicitly that there is no one like you. Mm-hmm. No.
Absolutely.
Nature doesn't cheat. We've all got something that nobody else has got. Mm-hmm. And you've got to be encouraged to kind of bring it out and don't let the bastards grind you down. You've got to go for it. I'll let you on.
Well, yeah, you say that, but, you know, you were a post-war baby, war baby, and your father was a coal miner, but even he, sort of theatrically speaking, he knew he could recite Hamlet. You were Patrick Stewart. His father was similar, wasn't he?
Yes.
But from those beginnings, who was it that made you realise that anything was possible and that you could do anything?
I think it was At the age of 14, ladies and gentlemen, I suddenly, at the age of 14, suddenly realized I could be a man.
Right.
I could do what they do on television, or the screens, or on football fields, or in mountains, or in space. I could write my own script. I could do it. I suddenly woke up. Right. It was a kind of a joyous awakening. Mm-hmm. And I've never looked back since. I mean, I have had some, we all need help. I got drive and I've got energy. I'm an actor, explorer, I'm an astronomer, and I've completed space training.
Cosmonaut.
I'm a cosmonaut and an astronaut. I must explain this, ladies and gentlemen. I've done full training in Moscow, and I've done with them there, and with NASA in the Pacific, and on Reunion Island.
Did you do Jodrell Bank? Did you say you were up here as well?
I was at Jodrell Bank here, yes.
Thank you.
I trained with him here at Jodrell Bank. Wonderful people, and all over the world. So I am, ladies and gentlemen, and I will not be restricted.
No.
I am a fully trained cosmonaut, astronaut, and I'm 85, so fuck that! And I love training with them. I mean, my wife, during the last few years, the phone would ring and would go, Ken Branagh's my best friend. We have a father-son relationship. I'm the son and he's the father. He's an old prick compared to me. Wonderful, as he knows. But the phone would ring and my wife would say it wasn't Ken Branagh or it wasn't Patrick Stewart. It was suddenly, Stephen Hawking. And he would say, hello, Brian. Yes, Stephen, yes, what? Brian, they want to put me 60 miles in space. And what do you think? I said, well, you're going to fucking die anyway. You might as well go out there and die. But ha. Brian Blessed says I'm going to fucking die. And so the phone would ring. It'd be him, it'd be Colin Pillinger, who made Beagle, all these different things, and Buzz Aldrin. And my life is like that.
Wow.
And so I find that what is exciting is that you'll say, well, Brian, you're an exciting guy and you've got plenty of energy, but you'll never get me in space. You've got no choice. You're all cosmonauts. You're all astronauts. At this moment now, here in this fabulous place, in this fabulous part of Britain, you're traveling at 71,000 kilometers a second. The Earth is moving that fast. The whole of the solar system is moving that fast. So you're astronauts. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll be in a different part of the universe. Isn't that exciting? And the thing is, this year, we hear about bloody COVID and all this and the other. They love to be dark. Fuck off. Now, we are about to embark in the universe with the Webb telescope. Now, we got Keller, and we got the other two telescopes of the Hubble, but the James Webb telescope is going to set off. It could be 1 million miles from the Earth, halfway between the Earth and the Sun. And it is so powerful. It's going to transcend the Eagle Nebula and the webs of creation and go beyond the Big Bang. And it's going to show us worlds, trillions and trillions and trillions of planets. Beyond that, everlasting. And it's going to penetrate into its atmosphere, and we're better to see all the creatures that live on all these planets. We are just babies. We are the children of stardust, yearning for the stars. We're only babies. We haven't started yet. We're going to save the Earth. We're going to travel out there. God exists. God watches over us. We're going to make it. New forms of opera, new forms of art, new forms. We need you. I am sick of this old age crap. I'm 85. 85 years old. I'm sick of all this on television, pegging death all the bloody time. You know, love, oh, that's my insurance policy, you know. Oh, you brought it to the wrong address, love. No. Oh, I've got it. They give me a fresh fountain pen. Oh, really? I've not heard it. Was that one with Parky? Yeah, that's the one with Parky. And what you do, you know, they don't examine you. They don't ask any naughty questions like, have you got galloping knob-rotto? Anything like that. And in the end, you get this pension. And she comes on later on, doesn't she? Oh, I took that pension scheme, you said. Oh, and I've got a fountain pen. And you want to say, good, well, we'll take you out in the back garden and fucking shoot you. No, there is this love of death. Terrible. More and more and more and more and more. I get bloody fed up with it. No. 40 is very young. 40 years of age, I mean, well, it's not even middle age. Middle age is between 55 and 65, but it's not how old you are, it's how you are old. I have my sugar pies. I'm 85. I bench press 400 pounds. Yes, I can bench 400 pounds. Every bloody thing going. I train judo boys from Brian Jack since he retired. All youngsters, I teach them judo, teach them this, teach them that, teach them the other. I train for 4 and 5 hours a day. I will not be restricted.
Brilliant.
No. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, be with you in a second. I want to say that.
Well, we were talking about death. You know when you were saying about in the dressing room about death, and you were saying how I don't believe in it either.
Yeah.
But I think that's also why, you know, you're such a, you know, the expeditions you've been on and climbing Everest 3 times. A little bit of that's got to be as well, because you're not scared of death, are you?
No, I'm not scared. Well, I don't believe death exists. I believe that's the ancient poem John Donne says, "Death, thou shalt die." No, I think life is the last word. Death is not. Now, of course, I'm known as being fearless, and I am. Totally. I mean, I've had audiences with the Dalai Lama and spent days with him. He's my age, and other people like that. I've been very, very lucky. And gone to all the continents, the Lost World, and Venezuela, in the Lost World, and all over the Himalayas, and all over the great mountains, and done the North Pole and the South Pole, which is wonderful. I'm thrilled to bits to do it. It's so exciting. I can tell you the Earth is going to recover. We have great scientists in the field. We have great workers in the field. People like yourself with your energy are in the field, and we are going to win out. We're now doing tremendous work on the seas in South America, beyond there, the Antarctic seas. We're discovering new forms of animals and creatures down there. A great deal of work is being done now with the whales. We're stopping the Japanese and we're stopping the Chinese from killing them, etc., etc., etc. We don't know them. They sing songs. And they've been hurt at times and killed, and yet they still go on singing. We are the guardians of this planet, and we shall succeed. Nevertheless, a short while ago, it was actually a few years, but a short while ago, I was asked by Granada Television, close by here, in Stars in Their Eyes,
Oh, yes.
would I be Pavarotti?
Oh, you're nothing like him.
And I said no. And Ken Branagh said, oh, at last, you're bloody scared. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not scared. No, I'm not. I said, but when I was in the musical Cats, playing Old Deuteronomy and all those other parts in Cats in the original production, I met Placido Domingo, and I met Carreras and all the others. And Pavarotti came along, and they all bowed to him. Domingo. And called him Maestro. I said, that's why, because he is so unique, more than you see Björling, or more than Caruso, Mario Lanza, more. The greatest voice that ever been seen. And Domingo, I said, you call him Maestro. He said, well, Brian, because I have a very fruity voice. And Carreras here has a cloudy voice. And this happens with most tenors. But Luciano Pavarotti, Luciano's voice is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And golden. And we bowed to him. I said, that's why, Ken. How can you do this? This God. Anyway, they came forward and they offered 50,000 quid. And it was for charity. They're like, your charity, for charity this evening. I said, no. And they said 100,000, 150. It ended up 350,000 quid. Anybody here from Granada? No. 350,000 quid. So, oh, fuck it. I'll do it. So the makeup was sensational. I mean, they you know, not dissimilar. I mean, they blackened my hair with a wig, great big black beard. They padded me more, and so forth, and this, that, and the other, because I'm very slim and good looking. But they padded me more. And anyway, I did it. And I walked out, and I looked out, I came through the mist, and I could see Pavarotti watching on a big screen. I thought, Jesus Christ, they've got Pavarotti here. And then I realized, of course, it was me. And the audience cheered, because I looked just like him with the makeup.
You're supposed to.
And I stood there. Anyway, then gradually the cheering stopped. And they thought, well, he looks like him, but he'll never sound like him. So I stepped forward. I would need a piano. I do a tiny bit.
Go, Brian.
Mano del cielo, chi è bello in me, oh solo mio, stand fronte a te, oh sole, oh sole mio. There you are. Incidentally, I want to say, when I'm talking about Granada...
He's up again.
When I'm talking about Granada... when I left drama school, I was just 20 years of age. I went to Nottingham Rep, ASM and small parts, £4.99 and 6 a week, and I built the sets. And I played big parts. You know, and it was hard, bloody work, you know, because the ASMs are all bloody dwarfs, you know. So anyway, one day, a guy came to the stage door. He said, hello, I'm an ex-captain. I just left the army. I've got plenty of money. I'm very good with wood. I've always wanted to work backstage at Nottingham Rep, the famous Nottingham Rep with Valmay. I can make the tea and all that. I said, are you any good with wood? Because I was dreadful with fucking wood. He said, yes, I am. So, right, I only get £1 a week from them, so it was £1 a week, but he had plenty of money. Anyway, he was good with wood, and now and again, we'd put him in a play, and he was shite, and, you know.
That's it.
We'd give him the odd line here and there, you know, and so forth.
That's it. It wasn't someone really famous.
No, anyway, I was getting pretty tired building all these sets, and therefore, as a test, I thought I'd take this actor, come actor, and set him right. I'm going to make you really fucking good, right? I'm going to teach you a speech from Shakespeare. Not very long, but you mustn't move. If you move, don't move your hands, they'll know you can't fucking act. So don't move, just do it very still. And then there's a little speech there from Chiltern Hundreds, playing a Yorkshireman, which you are. I can sit you in a chair, and again, don't move. Anyway, I sent him to Oldham Rep. Anyway, that evening he phoned me up and he said, oh, crime. Oh, fucking hell, right. I've got the part. I said, oh, shit. What am I going to do? They've offered me this part. It's only one part in one play, that's all. I'm just going to do it, right? And that night, Granada Television were in to see him. And they offered him a part in Coronation Street. Bill Roach. So every time I see Bill, I go, don't move, or they know you can't fucking act. Yeah. Are you there, Bill? You still can't bloody act. There's a nice lad. By God, he could shag anything that moved. Terrible. What are you there for?
Well,
I mean, you don't know him, do you? No.
Not like that, no. But, you know, you can do absolutely everything. I mean, I've seen you on Loose Women, and, of course, you've been working with the RSC for so long. And such a wide and varied sort of jobs that you've done and things you've appeared in. And you do each and every single one with such passion. And it's infectious, which is why we're all here. And I think it's going to rub off in the end, hopefully, fingers crossed, and the energy. But for you, with sort of working with the greats like with Kenneth Branagh and in Shakespeare, you had some funny moments there too, didn't you? I mean, on stage with I, Claudius, there's something that really made me laugh when I think Omar Sharif were in the audience and Michael Caine. And someone farted.
What?
Someone farted.
Don't tell him. Don't let him. Don't tell him.
Someone farted, and you were in the middle of I, Claudius.
Of course. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And well thought out. And thank you for your research.
Thanks.
Anyway.
I don't know why I bothered, to be honest.
I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, here and now, anyway, there are two constitutions in Britain that I cannot stand. They're the National Theatre. They bore the shit out of me. Their productions are boring. I walked out of them after about 6 months. I said to Peter Hall, I can't fucking stand it. They're fucking dreadful. I have to say, of course, you know, ladies and gentlemen, well, I was at the National Theatre. This is leading up to your question.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not answering my question.
When I was at the National Theatre, I was doing a play there, and doing very well, playing Gorky in Still Revolution, playing Gorky. And the great actors, of course, ladies and gentlemen, are kind of Sir Donald Wolfett in our history. The great Sir Donald Wolfett, the greatest King Lear of all time. Laurence Olivier, the great Richard III, Henry V, the great Laurence, and Sir John Gielgud, the great Hamlet, the Gielgud had a lovely voice. Oh, lovely, lovely voice. Very, very camp and very lovely, very gay. And so, and he was at the National Theatre in Volpone. And I was playing Gorky, and there's two theatres, I had to pass him in the corridor every day. And I would pass him, and I would grab his ass. Now, this is one of the greatest, most respected classical actors who's ever lived. Oh, do leave me alone, Brian, stop that, stop that. Give me your ass! Because I destroy all that crap. You know, he's great or he's not. We're all great. Now they grab, oh, don't leave it, Brian, stop it. Oh, no, can't grab your ass. Stop it, have some respect. I'm a great actor. Great, my ass, I'll grab you. Anyway, Peter Hall said, Brian, Peter Hall, the producer, director there, said, we all love you, Brian, but Sir John is terrified of you. He says you bruised his buttocks. can you give him I'll give him a rest. And so I did. And then after a few weeks, he was happy and doing his production. And he came back, Gielgud came back to his dressing room, and he opened the door and got into his dressing room, and I was in the cupboard. Yeah! No! Right. Now, the Royal Shakespeare Company,
Thank you.
also, I cannot stand it.
It's all right.
They bore the shit out of me. And so, I'm always half, I don't know, the best Shakespeare isn't done there. You do it, everybody does it. Eskimos do it, Maoris do it. It's done all over the world, Shakespeare. They make it so bloody dull. Anyway.
Yeah. You're getting there.
I was in Hamlet. We've come to it at last. Okay?
It's all right, it's all right.
And I was playing Claudius the King. And we had a long rehearsal, huge sets designed by Bjornson. Virginia McKenna was playing the Queen alongside me. Branagh, Laertes, Roger Rees Hamlet. A crowd of about 200. Big sets, bells going on, chandeliers. And on the first night, the set wasn't quite working. It was the worst first night in history. And when they were all still, the entire cast, and the bells stopped ringing, then I moved forward as Claudius, the king, and I'm being crowned. And the opening lines are, though yet of Hamlet our dear brother's death, the memory be green. And that were the opening lines. And as far as the eye could see was Michael Caine and Omar Sharif and Laurence Olivier and all kinds of people. And I stepped forward, like I've just said, and the bells stopped. The set was bluish like this. I stepped forward, and I heard this. I cannot cope with farts. It was just, as I was going, and it just echoed around the theatre. The entire cast was shaking, and they had the women had great tits, and they were hanging out. So all I could see was tits shaking everywhere. Branagh was rolling along the stage. He's fucking rolling. He can't speak. Because I'm addressing, now then tell me, I said to Laertes, tell me what you want. Tell the Dane and I'll grant it. And I just said, I know what you're going to say. You wish to leave Denmark. You may go. And he left. And the next day, he and I were almost fucking fired. We put in front of the committee. And they almost sacked me and Branagh. It was... I want to say, I'll give you an idea. Wonderful things have been done at the Royal Shakespeare Company. Of course they have. But it's been done better elsewhere. And so forth. And I couldn't get away quick enough. I want to do my own thing. Anyway, before that, there was a great director called Robert Atkins. When actors are pissing about, pretending to be camp, they do that a lot, because they're imitating Robert Atkins, who was an old actor from the past, and he did a lot of that. Oh, yes, he did. He did that and did that and that. Now, he was a director of the Royal Shakespeare Company, and he performed some of the most brilliant plays, the best ever that they ever did. And quite suddenly, they sacked him. They said, well, you've done very well, but in another 5 weeks' time, we want somebody new, get new ideas. And so, therefore, you've only got another 4 or 5 weeks, and then we'll have to let you go. But we'd like you to make a speech on the last night. I'll make a speech, I'll make a speech. I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry we sacked you. And the Royal Shakespeare Company, at the time, was being financed by Flowers Ale. And on the last night, the curtain went down and then went up again, and Robert Atkins stepped forward and said, I've only got one thing to say. Flowers Ale is piss. And that was his only speech. This evening has not gone the way I intended it to.
Me neither. It's fine. I like the way you roll, though. It's good, isn't it? We're just going with the flow.
Ask me something else, darling.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, this whole close to death experience that you say you don't believe in death, so you're obviously extremely courageous in that respect. But you've had a couple of those experiences when you've been up Everest, because we haven't really spoken about your efforts when you've been up there. And first of all, you saved someone's life, didn't you?
Yes.
You did. And
yes.
A lot of people don't know that bit.
Well,
and that actually stopped you from achieving your dream.
Yes, I thought there's much more to a mountain.
And I think that's why you don't talk about it much. Yes.
I'll tell about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Here we are. We're not far from O.B.E, are we?
No. No?
No, well, of course, that's where Mallory was born. Mm-hmm. So George Lee Mallory was a most handsome man. He was a young, handsome man, the greatest rock climber ever seen in the 1920s. Everest had not been approached yet. This man, when he appeared at Cambridge stood still and couldn't speak, and they christened him Galahad of Everest, because he looked like Sir Galahad, and refined physically, and movement and voice, etc. He was adored by everybody, and he was born at O.B.E, close by here. And the time came, could we, after the war, possibly climb Mount Everest on the northern side? Mm-hmm. Now, they had Norfolk jackets and puttees and things like that. And of course, cut a long story short, they went there and did a reconnaissance in 1921, and in 1922 they got to 27,000 feet. A wonderful British expedition full of army generals and Mallory leading the way, mm-hmm. and the king behind it all, and Parliament. Most amazing. But in 1924, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest expedition ever mounted on God's earth took place on the northern side of Everest. And he led it again, the great Mallory. The heart stood still when he climbed and moved. Elegant. Take your eyes off him and be up an ice field. Amazing to watch. Galahad of Everest. And he and Irving, the young man, went alongside, and they were last seen after many weeks, 300 feet from the summit. In 1924, in Norfolk jackets and puttees. And the mist came down, and they were never seen again. And we don't know to this day whether they climbed it or not. Because it's a great mystery. A mystery is a rare commodity these days. We need mystery. I'm quite convinced, because I've been to that area where he disappeared, managed to get up there to that height and in those conditions, and wearing the same clothes. I wore Norfolk jackets and so forth. It's called Galahad of Everest, our film, BBC. We had best climbers, best American climbers, best Russian climbers, best English climbers.
This is with no oxygen.
And with no oxygen. And I got to exactly 28,000 feet where Mallory disappeared. And therefore I'm quite convinced he did it. Mm-hmm. Because I was 55, and he was 34. Again, as Ken said to me, Brian, you're not scared of anything. No. But when we were filming Galahad of Everest, in praising Mallory and their great ideals and their great accomplishment, while I was doing that, it was, the BBC said, well, we've got the Dalai Lama in the film. We've got all kinds of people in the film. It's wonderful. And you're about to go to Everest. But we would like you to meet Reinhold Messner, who had now taken over from Mallory in the 1980s and 90s. He was the greatest mountaineer who's ever lived. He climbed all 14 8,000-meter climbs without oxygen. That's climbs above 26,000 feet. He climbed Everest twice without oxygen, north and south side. Solo. People just bowed to Messner. They said, BBC, we must have him in the film. Christ, because I'm a greenhorn compared to him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they located where he lived in the Tyrol in a castle. And I went along, and I was really nervous. And The BBC were all around his castle, and I was embarrassed by that, but he wasn't around, thank God. They said, well, he's not here, said John Ball Davidson. He's not here, I thank God for that. And then suddenly a car arrived round the corner. Out of this small car stepped Achilles, Hector, at the gates of long, blonde hair down to here. We put drums on it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, and he was Mesner. He'd just done the South Pole, there and back as a fucking holiday. And there he was. And there was Mesner, and I said, Rhino's here! And he turned round, and he looked at me, and he strode over, and he took me by the shoulders, and he said, looked into my eyes, you can stay all day, you're as fucking mad as I am. And I climbed with him for 2 weeks. Oh, it was wonderful. And he phones me up all the time, the extraordinary. Of course, years later, the southern side, in which the British climbed in 1953 with Hillary and Tenzing, I was on an expedition to the southern side without oxygen. And now, I was in my 70s. And science said, this is impossible. The impossible dream. I will not. Well, that be, I just love that song, isn't it? They never sing the top note in it. No, they don't. They go, and I know if I'll only be true to my daughter, my heart will be like peaceful and calm till I'm gone. And the world will go, let one man strong and we go, she'll strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. And they never fucking do it. But anyway. Anyway. What was I saying that? Where was I?
About saving lives, and then we're going
And so anyway, after many, many weeks on the southern side, I was approaching the summit without oxygen. I'm in my 70s, proving science wrong. No headaches, no nothing, no blindness, no nothing. Strong. I was moving. There was South Cole, the ridge, the mill, Hillary Step, and there I was by the summit, and there was a poor Catalan. He had oxygen. And I was about to go to the top without oxygen. This world record. I have 5 children. I'm going to die. I'm dying. I knew there was a catch of oxygen a bit further down, another 500 feet. Stay there. I got him the oxygen, I put it on him, then I put one in his pocket, I put one in my pocket. Anyway, top and bottom is after a day and a half, I got him down and saved his life. Because... But how do I top that?
wow. Did you ever, when you saw that you could almost reach the top, but then
I could touch it.
Yeah, you
it
were
was
that
like
close.
the back. I would say it was about halfway through that auditorium.
But it
I
was
could
that
touch
still
it.
like an hour away.
What?
But this guy was dying.
I could have done it in half an hour easily.
Did you question yourself?
But if I'd have left him, he'd have died.
Right.
It was
so there was no question.
I had to get him. I rolled him and rolled him and rolled him and rolled him.
Wow.
I did all that and pushed him and rolled him.
Yeah.
At the risk of killing him, or the risk of pushing him over some of the steep edges. Right. But I didn't. I managed to hold on to him and hold on to him and hold on to him and got him down to the South Col. And he gets in touch with me. Doji gets in touch with me quite regularly, you know. It was
But you have this relationship with Everest, and
yes, and of course, my relationship with Everest was also my relationship with the Dalai Lama.
Yes.
Who is, the Dalai Lama is my age.
You're quite cheeky with him, though, aren't you? Because you actually asked him if he ever has sex, which I would never ask the Dalai Lama.
The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that when we meet some of these great people, like me with, the astronomers I told you about, etc., His Holiness, when they meet him, they're over-respectful. I don't mean to be rude, but they're bowing to him and scraping to him and things like that, and so forth. And I would say, well, you're my age. I mean, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen, but I have to say that I don't need that fucking blue pill. I can shag anything that moves if I have to. I got a chopper and it can move. Now, so therefore, the Dalai Lama's my age, and he looked beautiful. His skin was wonderful, his body was wonderful, and people just talked to him about, will you say some prayers with me or this, that, and, they over-respect him, and what do you do when you walk, and I didn't. I just, look at you. And he was giggling with me because we got on so well. I said, but how do you go? And he had a translator in black.
Yes.
He didn't need a translator because he speaks English very well, but he has it as a protector. And the translator almost fainted when I said to the Dalai Lama, what do you do for sex? I mean, you look so bloody sexy. I am fine. What do you do? Do you fuck? Dalai Lama do... Brian. But your skin's good, this and the other. Do you still fuck? I mean, and say, oh yeah, I sometimes think of beautiful woman, and then, what do you say? And then I sometimes think of beautiful woman, and then I do my mantras louder and take a cold shower. And that's what he said. But I do, yes, I indulge. I have no problem sexually at all. So, but nobody, I'm glad. And they try, well, you mustn't ask His Holiness this in the translation.
To be fair, I think only you can ask
say,
him
I
that.
love it.
I don't think anyone else
Everyone talks to me all the time about God and this and that. And we went for long walks with the dogs and we swam together. And I have this relationship. Now and again he comes and sees me and he stays in my hut, in my garden.
You've got a cabin,
nobody knows
you?
there.
Your little secret cabin that and Kenneth comes to visit you.
Yes, he comes to visit me,
At the bottom of the garden?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And he's just an amazingly wonderful man. And so he's wonderful in the film. He's quite wonderful. So but it's wonderful meeting somebody like that. But of course, they're normal people and so forth. Because you want to know about what do you like sexually.
And normal things. Well,
Yes.
you asked that question, and we actually are going to put some questions out to you from the audience.
Yes,
Darren.
indeed.
So Darren, are you ready?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
He's like
Hi.
that. Yeah, Jenny. Hi.
Right, you
Where are
can't see me, but I know there are a few people that have got questions for you, Brian. So if you just put your hand up if you'd like to ask a question. We've only got a few minutes, so we'll get through as many as we can. If you just give us your name and ask your question, that'd be great.
Hi, my name's Antonio. Brian, you've done so many marvellous things in your lifetime. What is top of your bucket list for you still to do?
What's on your bucket list that's still to do?
What's on my bucket list?
Yes.
Well, Mars.
Obviously, like you do.
Mars.
Mars.
I want to go to about 7 or 8 moons of the giant planets. I want to be part of which I am part of the Webb telescope, etc. And I have completed my training with the Russians. You know, Space City in Moscow, where I was trained, they have a cinema there, and they have parks and so forth.
Yes.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
And they put me through the centrifuge. They wanted to fail me.
Oh, the Russians.
Their
did.
centrifuge is bigger than Wembley Stadium. And they put me in it. I thought, you won't fail me, you fucking Russian bastard.
Too right. Thank you.
But I did, and Putin came to watch. But I am going to go out into space. We've got lots of marvellous people working and I want to encourage other people to get out there as well and arrange for them. Space belongs to all ages, to us all. And I want to be part of the big space program with the Russians and the Americans And I'm going out there.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
forget
to the
Bezos.
moon, I'm going to go to Mars, and I'm going to go to the moons
Yes.
of Saturn and Jupiter.
Okay, hope that answers your question.
Brilliant.
Okay, the next one. Where are you, Darren? I can't see.
Okay, I'm here. I'm over this side.
Oh, yeah,
you see me
yeah,
there,
yeah.
Jen? Right, the wonderful Armand Beasley is with us this evening.
Armand.
lovely to see you. You have a question for Brian.
I do. So your obsession with space, Brian. One of your co-stars from Cats, Sarah Brightman, also has an obsession with space. She trained as a cosmonaut as well. What started your obsession with space?
What started your obsession with space?
I'm talking about cats. You've talked about cats.
Well, more about the obsession with space, but you can talk about cats as well. But Sarah Brightman, she's got an obsession with it as well? I didn't realise she was a cosmonaut.
Yes, she was put up for it, and then she had paid several million to be sent to the International Space Station.
Ah, okay.
And fit, nice girl, Sarah, lovely girl, but at the last minute, quite frankly, she shat herself.
Armand, it doesn't answer your question, but that's a good answer.
That wonderful woman, but I don't blame her. You know, she's going to go in the Soyuz. She's going to go in the Soyuz, which goes to about 12 Gs, 10 Gs.
Scary.
I have
No
actually
chance.
done 12 Gs.
Whoa.
If you go to 13 Gs, which I was in Russia, close by, then you turn into an amoeba. It will kill you that quickly. So space is quite deadly. But what was I saying about... you were saying about Sarah and Cats, in the fact that that was a great... I would say that's the finest production I've ever been in, the original
Yes.
Cats. I played Old Deuteronomy,
Yeah.
and the whole thing with Elaine Page and the whole thing. And Webb had no money, and Trevor Nunn had no money. All of them had no money. And they managed to pull the money together with a fantastic first cast. And it was sensational. I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that...
You're not going to mention the movie, are you?
no,
I like the movie.
No, I'm not going to mention the movie.
Oh, good.
What I'm going to say is that in the original production, which is very Spartan, with brilliant people in it, brilliant actors, at half-time, Deuteronomy sings, I was Old Deuteronomy. The Cats musical is quite simple. It's to celebrate Deuteronomy, who is like Buddha, who is like an old Jesus.
Yep.
He's going to choose one of them to go to the cat heaven. And they all come virtually to be auditioned, you might say, in a way, but in a very subtle way. And and they want to go to the Heaviside Layer, which exists astronomically. It's above the Van Allen radiation belt. And I'm going to take one of them higher than the Russell Hotel, to the Van Allen radiation belt. I choose one of them. But at the end of the first half, they've all been showing me their wares, and then Grisabella comes on, Elaine Page, who did quite beautifully. And when she comes on, she's quite frankly, as Trevor Nunn, a great director, said, touches of syphilis and ill. And so the Cats, when they see her, they don't want her at the ball. She used to be, and she used to be the glamour cat, beautiful. And they all leave the stage, and of course I don't. I'm in a great big tire above everybody, because I'm like the Buddha and Jesus. I'm not going to be worried and frightened and condemned. And she comes on and sings a little bit of Memory halfway through, and I see her singing it, and she goes off. But then it's half time, and I'm on the stage on my own. So I said to Trevor Nunn, he said, you can't leave the stage, Brian. They leave the stage because they're frightened. She leaves the stage because she's broken-hearted. You are the Buddha cat. You have to stay there. And I sang the opening half, the recitative, the moments of happiness, to start the second half. So it was half time. I said, but children and people will come on the stage and be with me. No, they won't. But they did, which was lovely. And lots of children used to come and sit with me. And I said to them, and eventually it got around, so that in actual fact the Cats came on the stage and they put on costumes that they'd made. Mm-hmm. So they became little children, this big, came to join me, about 100. And they gathered around me. And I said to the management, don't take them off. No. To the parents, don't take them away. Leave them here. So you dream of the magic of the theatre, of the magic of life for your children. They were on the stage. They were in. the production. Yes. They were part of the magic.
Yes.
And there they were. This stillness. Wonderful. And anyway, hold on a second. There they were. And they stayed there. And then the lights eventually, after 20 minutes, started going blue. There's Wayne Sleep, there's Paul Nicholas, all alongside me. And then I said, I can take them back to their seats, because I've got this intermezzo to sing. And there they are around me, and I sang, well, it's very difficult to sing. The moments of happiness, we had the experience, but miss the meaning, and approach to the meaning restores the experience in a different form. Beyond any meaning we can assign to happiness, the past experience revived in the meaning is not the experience of one life only, but of many generations, not forgetting something that is probably quite ineffable. I sang it better than that, and then I took them out of my notes. But I then took them back to their seats, and the stage was then empty just with me. I took them back to their seats, and they'd experienced that with me. And I grabbed hold of the oldest cat of all, Gus, the theatre cat. And he wants to leave, he's frightened. And he got palsy and disease. He's that old in our production. And I said, come on, that's all right. It's all right, go on. I've played in my time all kinds of parts. But my greatest creation, as history will tell, is Fire through Fiddle, the fiend of the fell. And he just sings the song. Anyway, the thing is, and the auditions, Ancient Cat. But on one occasion, I was sat on the stage, and there was a little girl amongst all the other girls, and the parents were all there, and I said, are you enjoying the show? She said, yes. And her parents started crying. I thought, oh Christ, I've said the wrong thing. And they said, no, Mr. Blessed, no. Quite the reverse. That's the first time our child has ever spoken.
Oh, wow.
And that was the effect of Cats. The original.
And you.
Anyway, I was attending a similar convention like you have here, and thank you for all your wonderful charity. I was attending it like this, and she appeared again. She's 50, and she came and sat on my knee. It was so sweet. It's me, Brian. I'm speaking very well. Come and sit on my knee. And I sang the song to her. Lovely.
It's a lovely story to end on as well.
Is it?
It is, because we're. We could go on for. I think we'll have to have a Brian Blessed is back. In Bowdon in a couple of months, because we could listen to your stories for so long.
I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that I do feel very much, that every bloody stroke of 10 at the moment is bloody death.
Yes.
On television. Another bang, 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 bang. And I have to say that my pet hate frequently are the food programs.
Yes, we were talking about that.
The bake-off programs.
Yeah, we don't like
because the next minute you see some children in the Yemen with no skin and no food, exactly. I just can't take that at all. But apart from that, I think we're beginning to win through. We are the guardians of this planet. We will come through. There are lots of wonderful people. You're here tonight, not passing the time, but the money you contributed, the money you pay me, you paid me, I don't know what you paid me tonight, but all my money, I will never be rich. I can't be rich. I'd be a bloody millionaire. But I have got hundreds of bloody animals that I look after. Yeah. They eat me out of house and home. I've got dogs. I've got bloody dogs and cats and other animals and so forth, and I have got to. And I also employ about 8 or 9 people. So thank you for the money you're giving me.
Yes, thank you. And thank you,
it
Brian.
Goes to that.
I think, you know what?
But I feel absolutely that we're going to make it. My wife in the last year, because oh, my wife, and we've suffered. No. My wife has had cancer, had remission. Mm-hmm. She's 82. Hildegard Neal, who plays Cleopatra in the film with Charlton Heston, Hildegard Neal, etc. And she got over the cancer, the remission, then she got pneumonia, she got over the pneumonia, now she's had a heart problem. She got over it all. She's walking the dogs, she's laughing and joking. Yes. And great. What I'm saying, as I said, you don't have to die just because you're fucking dying.
Exactly. There's one thing, I was sort of trawling through, I hate social media, but I was trawling through Twitter, and there was somebody from America, bizarrely, who I think, just to round things off, because this epitomises you for me, and it's quite a recent message, and it says, I love Brian Blessed. Whenever I'm depressed, and I've dealt with clinical depression on and off since my teens, and I'm 57 now, all I have to do is put a video on of Brian Blessed, and within minutes, I feel so much better. He's way better than Prozac. You can have that. That's what somebody has put.
Oh, I'll keep that. Isn't that bloody marvellous? Can I say, yes. I want to thank you, because handling me like this, I think you deserve a medal. She beat me all after all.
No, thank you.
You have been simply...
It's been a pleasure, honestly. No. Do you know what? With children, young people in the world today, I just wish there were a lot more storytellers and people like you to inspire them, because, I mean, you're not dying. We don't believe in death, but you are a dying breed. So for me, it's been an utter pleasure. Oh, and I just wish that you would come back soon. And I love you dearly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just say...
Brian Blessed, everyone. Thank you.
I want to say... Gordon's alive! I'm alive! You're alive!
Thank you.
Go for it! I'm down that the boss has dragged you down!
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you did.
So lovely.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So you'll be upstairs, just so you know. Thank you so much. You've been a great energy, and Brian Blessed deserves the energy that you gave back on the stage, because sometimes people are just really shit. But you were great. By the way, he made that so easy for me. I was like, I don't know why I did all those cards. What's all that about? But anyway, it's what you're supposed to do at presenting school, bollocks. So anyway, Brian's going to be upstairs, and then everybody's very welcome to go and take their photos with him. But I think you're going to be collected from your tables in an orderly fashion. As much as we're freedom fighters, we'll have to do as we're told just for a bit. So just sit down, enjoy yourselves a bit more, and then you'll be collected table by table to go and have your photos. And thank you so much, Bowdon Rooms. Thank you. Thank you.